Hi guys, it's Morgan and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about the Broadway musical Death Becomes Her. Now, if you don't know, Death Becomes Her is based on the 1992 movie, and it's about frenemies Madeline Ashford, played by Megan Hilty, and Helen Sharp, played by Jennifer Samard. Madeline is a successful actress, and Helen is an author who lives in her shadow. After Madeline steals Helen's fiancé, Ernest Menville, played by Christopher Sieber, Helen plots revenge. And while she's doing that, Madeline begins to grow concerned about her fame fading because of getting older, which leads her to meet Viola Van Horn, played by Michelle Williams, who gives Madeline a potion that will restore her youth and make her live forever. But, unknown by Madeline, Viola also gave the potion to Helen. And now that Madeline and Helen have their youth restored and they're immortal, they have to protect their bodies and deal with their grudge that will last for eternity. Now, if you haven't seen Death Becomes Her, there will be spoilers in this review, so stop watching if you don't want to be spoiled. So, here's my review of the Broadway musical Death Becomes Her. The first person that we see on stage is Viola Van Horn, played by Michelle Williams, and she was incredible. And she really made Viola someone who would be very hard to say no to. It was also interesting to see just how many people Viola had given her potion to, and they all live with her. And since at the end of the show we see that Viola is still around, it makes me wonder just how many more people she could give her potion to. Now, I'm sure I'm not the only person who thinks this, but Megan Hilty is a star, and she was amazing as Madeline Ashford. I was also really impressed during her first song, For the Gays, since there's a lot of dancing and a lot of costume changes. Also, when Madeline took Ernest from Helen, I was on Helen's side. But after Madeline's career went downhill and Helen became a successful author, I actually felt sorry for Madeline. But because Madeline was vulnerable, it made it easy for Viola to convince her to drink the potion. Also, if you're planning on seeing Death Becomes Her, make sure you read Megan Hilty's bio in the playbill. I'm not going to spoil spoil what it says, but it's pretty funny. And if you read it and you're confused, just keep in mind that Meryl Streep played Madeline in the movie Death Becomes Her. Jennifer Simard was hilarious as Helen Sharp, and during her song That Was Then, This Is Now, she did a great job at showing that even though she loved Ernest, she was also very happy to finally be able to make Madeline jealous. So it was really sad when Ernest left Helen for Madeline, but it was also funny when Helen was in the psychiatric hospital planning her revenge. Also, I haven't seen the movie, so when Madeline and Ernest saw Helen after she became a successful author, I was wondering if Helen had already drinking the potion, since the only thing I really knew about Death Becomes Her is that Madeline and Helen both drink it. And after Madeline accidentally mentions Viola in front of Helen and Ernest, the way Helen reacts makes Madeline realize that Helen also drank the potion. Even though it was horrible that Ernest Menville broke off his engagement with Helen so he could marry Madeline, Christopher Sieber made me love him. And he also had a very understandable reaction when he was watching Madeline and Helen fight but not die. His song, The Plan, was also really hilarious since it was about him going crazy trying to figure out a way to fix Madeline and Helen's bodies, since even though they were now immortal, they could still damage their bodies. I also really loved the scene when Madeline, Helen, and Viola were trying to convince Ernest to also drink the potion, and at first it looks like he's going to, but then he says no. It was nice that even though Madeline and Helen still get on each other's nerves at the end of the show, they realize that they would be alone without each other and decide to spend eternity together. It was also really funny when they were cleaning their gravesite, since they have to pretend that they're dead, so anybody they know wouldn't question why they're not aging. Now, even though during the stunts and fight scene, you can tell that it's not Megan Hilty and Jennifer Simard, the members of the ensemble who were doing the stunts and the fight scene were incredible. The entire ensemble of this show is amazing, and I also really loved their costumes. Also, even though Megan and Jennifer weren't doing the stunts, I am curious about how they got Megan's head to spin around, and also how they got the hole in Jennifer's stomach. Now, after the show, me and my mom, who I saw the show with, did go to the stage door, but when we got there, one of the security guards told everyone that the actors don't come out the stage door. Now, I'm not sure if this will last forever, so if you are planning on seeing the show, after you can still go to the stage door and see what they say, but that's just what we were told. Now, while I'm talking about stage doors, I want to talk about appropriate behavior at the stage door, since I know that there have been some people who have complained if a certain actor doesn't come out the stage door after a show and they say they paid to meet them. Now, I want to say this as nicely as I possibly can. No, you didn't. You paid for a ticket to see the show. If you saw the show, then you got what you paid for. Meeting the actors at the stage door is just a bonus. Also, you don't know the reason that an actor might not come out a stage door. One, they can be tired since they just finished performing a show. Two, they could have guests and they don't want to rush talking to them. Or three, these actors want to make sure that they're healthy as possible so they can perform the show every day, so they might not want to risk getting sick. I know that there can be other reasons, but these are the main ones that I thought to share. Now, in the cases where actors do come out the stage door, please remember to be respectful, because I heard that someone followed Kit Connor to his car after a performance of Romeo and Juliet, and that made him stop coming out the stage door, which is a completely understandable response to something like that happening. So, if an actor doesn't come out the stage door, don't complain and say you paid to meet them. And when they do, please be respectful. I'm sorry if what I'm saying sounds like I'm on a soapbox, but I just felt like it had to be said. Thanks for watching, guys! If you've seen Death Becomes Her, let me know in the comments what you thought about it. And if you haven't seen Death Becomes Her, I highly recommend it. And if you want to see any of my future videos, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.